support.
The maestro, please.
DA got that dope.
It's time for a Halloween pop analysis! And what's more spooky than analyzing Kodak Black's new song Zeze, featuring Travis Scott and Offset? Okay, I get it, it's not scary, but I had to do something for Halloween.
Kodak Black.
Bill Capri, aka Kodak Black, is a rapper who only 2 months ago got out of prison. Despite his jail time, he still has various songs that have become well known, such as
Right now I gotta keep a ton of vision. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. Look, Kodak, they don't like to see.
and
I'm so fly, I don't need no flight attendant. Big Cuban link, don't need no pendant. I ain't never had no pot to piss in. Yeah, now all my records trend. Oh my, came from stealing bikes to flying the
Travis Scott.
Jacques Webster, aka Travis Scott, is another American rapper and a bit more popular than our main artist. Some popular hits include
She can't see my room, fuck her in the hallway. Yeah. Getting bored with this money, count it all day. On the south side of town, getting me a ball fade. Yeah. Pass us some.
and much more recently,
Younger Flame, he in sicko mode.
Made this here with all the ice on in the booth.
Offset.
Offset is one of the Migos, and you should remember the Migos from when we talked about
My bitch is bad and bullshit. Bad. Cooking up dope with a Uzi. My niggas are savage, ruthless. We got 30s and 100 rounds too. My bitch is bad and bullshit. Bad. Cooking.
Since then, Offset hasn't had the biggest solo career, but he does have a couple of songs under his belt, such as
Chopper with this girl, so do not test me, yeah. Ric Flair drip, go woo on a bitch. 5790, spent the coupe on my wrist. Multi-million-dollar, I'm a fool with the hits.
Background.
Zeze was originally released on October 12th, 2018. It then charted there soon after at number 2. Given the following week, it dropped to number 6, where it currently sits at the end of October. Its popularity can be partially credited to a viral video that popped up. It was originally posted to Instagram and shows Kodak Black and some of the other artists dancing in the studio while listening to the instrumental for what would soon become Zeze. It has been deemed either the Zeze challenge or the waiting challenge, depending on who you ask, and a meme popped out of it. Kodak Black, Offset, and Travis Scott are all listed as writers. However, I want to take a moment to talk a little bit about Travis Scott. Unlike the other two, Travis Scott has had a lot of work outside of his own music. Some of the biggest songs that he's worked on that are not his own would include
I know if we the new slaves, I see the blood on the leaves, I see the blood on the leaves, I see the blood on the leaves, I know that we the new slaves, I see the blood on.
as well as
Don't act like you forgot. Bitch, better have my money. Bitch, better have my money.
Moving on to production, we have David Doman, aka D.A. Doman. Has come up on the pop scene only as of recently, his two big songs he's worked on being
Ain't nobody here but you and me. Licking your private parts, and I know you love your privacy. You don't need a shower, you already wet.
and to much more success,
In the city, love my name, nigga, I ain't gotta say it. Taste, taste. She can get a taste. Taste, taste. She can get a taste. Taste, taste. Fuck what a nigga say.
Additional production credits include J. Thomas, M. Prince, and C. Gandy-Rodgers, and I have no idea who they are. Trust me, I've looked. Zeze is released by Atlantic and WEA International, aka the Warner Music Group.
Form.
Zeze is a hip-hop song, is about 3 3/4 minutes long, is an A-flat minor, 4/4 time, and 98 beats per minute. The song opens up with that steel drum sample as well as Doman's tag.
DA got that dope.
Travis Scott then brings us in with the chorus.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom.
He is then followed by Kodak Black, who gives us the refrain.
pull up in a demon on guard. Looking like I still do fraud.
Finally, we get our first verse by Offset.
Fuck her on the yacht, I've been a pool. She an addict for the lifestyle in the paddock. Daddy.
Travis Scott then chimes in again with the chorus.
I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free.
And then expectantly, we get Kodak Black again with the refrain.
Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z shit, it's that Z shit.
However, he continues to give us the second verse,
In a Buick, you know what I'm doing. If the police get behind me, fleeing any lure.
before finishing at the end with another refrain.
Looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod.
We then get our outro, which is just the instrumental slowly faded out.
steel drum.
The steel drum sample is very spacious because it has a bunch of rests in between the two figures that it plays. For those of you that don't know, the slashes on the stems of those notes actually means they're doing a roll type thing.
DA got that dope.
Bass.
The bass is very simple melodically speaking because it's just that A flat and E flat. Regardless, the rhythm tends to focus around that dotted eighth note. However, it does have a bit of a change to it when the texture changes.
Backup vocals.
Yeah, it's part of the beat, but I still think it's more fitting in this section. Regardless, it opens up with an A flat before going up to that D flat, dropping down to that E flat, hitting the B flat on the way up before dropping back down to the A flat.
Chorus.
In the chorus, Travis Scott tends to focus all around that E flat, but he does drop down to the B flat at various parts within the phrase.
Ice water turn Atlantic. Night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island, fled the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it.
He then does get a bit more creative with it though, doing these melismatic bends down to the D flat from that E flat.
Bitches undercover. I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other. Now that all the dogs free. And we out in these streets. Can you do it? Can you pop it for me?
Refrain.
Kodak Black's Refrain is similar to Travis Scott's chorus in the fact that it revolves around one note, this one being C. However, he does go up to the D flat and bends down to the C for his sort of melismatic bends. Also good to note that at the end of each phrase, he is just saying that. It is implied to be a pitch higher, but again, it's just an implied pitch.
Pull up in a demon on guard, looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z shit, it's that Z shit.
Offset's verse.
We finally get to the rapping. Offset opens it up with these fairly simple 16th rhythms.
Blow the brains out the coop. Polly one on top, but I'm on mute. I'ma bust her wrist down cause she cute. Fuck her on the yacht, I've been a pool.
As he goes on, it gets a bit more complicated in the fact that he's adding more 16ths, but also that he ties them over certain strong beats.
She an addict for the lifestyle and the paddock. Daddy, have you ever felt Chanel fabric? I be dripping to death, I need a casket. And we got more strikes in the rough, we foul tech on.
Beyond that, as he goes on, he really just continues the patterns he's established previously.
In the middle of the field like David Beckham. All my niggas locked up for real, I'm trying to help them. When I got a meal, got me the chills, don't know what happened. Pop pill, do what you feel, I'm on that zombie.
And this is where things get interesting. He spaces it out a bit more, but now he has some triplets at the end of the phrase to give us a clue as to what's going to happen in the following one.
I'm more like Gaddafi, I'm not no Gandhi. I'm more like I'm David Goliath running. Niggas be cloning, I find it funny. Clone, we finna know, straight out the dungeon.
We now have this split phrase, the first of which is all triple, and the second which is all duple before he ends his verse.
I go in the mouth, she costing me nothing. 300 the watch is out of your budget. Mean muggin' got me clutching. Yeah, and this stick right out of Russia.
Kodak Black's verse.
Kodak Black's flow is a lot looser than Offset's, so these rhythms are just a bit more approximate. However, he opens it up the same way with these simple 16th rhythms.
In a Hellcat, cause I'm a hellraiser. Self-made, I don't owe a nigga land favor. When you get that money, nigga, keep your heart. I'm sliding in a coupe, ain't got no key to start.
Similar to Offset, he then adds more 16ths.
I got to follow me in BET Awards. When your well run dry, you know you need me for it. When I pull up in a Buick, you know what I'm doing. If the police get behind me, fleeing any lure.
However, as he goes on, he starts to do more 8ths in place of some 16ths.
Sleeping on the pallet, turn me to a savage. I'm a project baby, now I stay in Calabash. Like I'm still surfing, like I'm still jacking. I be sipping on lean, trying to keep balance.
He then kind of does the same triple thing that Offset did, but I firmly believe these triples are not on purpose and just Kodak playing with the beat. However, if we want to exactly notate the rhythms for this looser flow, I believe this is more what the human ear would interpret it as.
Hit that Z-Walk, dicky with my Reebok. I don't say much, I just let the heat talk. Your jewelry water whoop, diamonds like re-rock. My little baby rock that dick like seatlock.
The last phrase of his verse focuses on that rhythm at the end of each bar, the 8th, 2/16th, 2/16th, 8th. This is emphasized especially by the rhyme scheme.
When I stepped up on the scene, I was on a beam. When I jumped up out the beam, I was in saline. Baby girl, you just a fleen, that ain't what I mean. Money busting out my jeans like I do skiing.
It's a decent song, and it's clearly got something. I mean, it charted at number 2. Yeah, it dropped to 6, but still. After coming off of Eminem's Kill Shot, this one is far more simplistic, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, the last thing I want to do is come off as
Mean muggin' got me clutching, yeah. And the stick right out of Russia.
Ice water turn Atlantic, night calling in a phantom. Told them, hold it, don't you panic. Took an island for the mansion. Drop the roof, more expansion. Drive a coupe, you can stand it.
For those wondering, a Zeze is actually an African instrument. It sounds like this.
Bridges undercover, I'm an ass and titty lover. Guess we all meant for each other, now that all the dogs free. And we out in these streets. Can you do it, can you pop it for me?
Pull up in a demon on guard, looking like I still do fraud. Flying private jet with the rod. It's that Z shit, it's that Z